everybody. Welcome to our first podcast, Guild Wars 2 podcast, with me and my friends. My name is Brock, and we have Jerry and Kayla and Benjamin. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Jerry. I play a thief in Guild Wars 2.
I'm Kayla, and I play a warrior in Guild Wars 2.
Hey guys, I'm Ben, and I play a ranger in Guild Wars 2.
And Ben, real quick, I just have a question.
Yeah.
You're having to restart from
Yes.
zero.
Sadly,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Ow.
So we're all getting back. Most of us are just getting back into the game from like a long hiatus. And luckily, Jerry remembered that I had used my wife's email, um, like whatever, 5, 6 years ago when the game launched, because there was a weird problem with my email I used for my Guild Wars 1 account. It wasn't connecting properly because of beta, something like that. But anyway, luckily, Jerry remembered that, and I got all my stuff back, and I was a happy man. And poor Benjamin, you used an email that you don't remember. So you're currently restarting from zero. I feel so bad for you, man. So,
Yeah.
real quick question before we jump into anything else. Does it feel like do you feel like way behind? Or is it bumming you out, or do you feel like it's fine?
I think it's fine actually. I feel like I'm playing it all over again, and it's interesting to see how things have changed since the very beginning. Uh, I was doing some beginning quests earlier, and yeah, a lot of things have changed.
Yeah, as one of the things that Jerry mentioned to me the other day blew my mind that you can right click on a salvage tool and just like salvage all. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
thought that was a miracle.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's done a lot of like what's the term for it? Quality of life
Yeah,
improvements.
yeah, definitely.
So that's a good thing. So just a real quick background: me and Jerry and Benjamin, we all started playing this during beta even, right? You guys were part of the
Yeah.
beta events too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And I remember on launch we had like I don't remember how many days, like a 5 day event at my house where we just like played Guild Wars 2 and barely slept and barely ate.
Yep.
This is true.
Yeah. So
The good old days.
I think in the first few days we even hit level 80, which we thought was like some kind of crazy accomplishment. I remember like the first day we were playing, we saw online somebody had already hit 80 from crafting and it blew our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we've been, aware and played the game since its launch, and I have been like a lot less frequently coming back to the game. Like we take the hiatus, you come back kind of thing. And I at one point I just kind of stopped. I don't know what happened. I think I just kind of reached a point where you, Jerry, or Benjamin, neither of you was playing very much, and I didn't play very much because of it. Because this is for me, it's a very social game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of got lost in like what do I do, you know? So I ended up quit stopping playing. And I think Jerry, you had the same kind of thing, but you came back quite a bit more.
Yeah, I feel like when you and Benjamin and another buddy of ours, Daniel, when everyone had kind of like stopped playing the game, I kept playing. I found, some people that were pretty cool, and I just ran around with their guild, and it was actually a really really fun guild to play with. It was just a bunch of uh, people like from overseas. We're here in North America. Um, there was like, and there was like people of all ages. There's some older people. There's a couple, and then there was like these two sisters that were like 12. And it was just it was really fun though. Like we were like kind of like a little family. It was fun to get on and just see what everyone was doing outside the game. And I feel like I get that from MMOs. I play all these other games and like the friends that you make on those games, like, you're just friends in game. But like when I was playing Guild Wars 2 without my actual friends. Like I ended up making friends in the game, and then like you're talking to them about like how their day goes and what have you. And I get that from the MMO. I got
Yeah.
that from Guild Wars.
I see that happening with me too. I feel like I get a pretty cool connection with people on here, and I think, like you said, like you had that after, all the other people we had launched with had gone.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of like I didn't have that, and I didn't find like a guild like that. So I think that's why I just dipped out. Which brings us to Kayla.
Yes.
So Jerry, uh, you got hella married,
Yeah, we got
and
Showed
hella married.
it.
you got hella married to my friend Kayla.
Yep.
And so you guys, after you got married, I think, or was it before you guys started playing this together at some point?
Um, Jerry got me signed up while we were engaged, but I don't think that we really seriously played together until we were married because I lived far out in the country and I didn't have internet. So I couldn't play with him.
I
This
feel so
wonderful
bad for
thing
you.
called the internet.
It's magical.
It's magical. Life without it was hard.
Can imagine. So, I would say that for me and Jerry, at least, I don't remember if you, Benjamin, were involved with it, but during the initial launch of the game, like the vanilla base game as it is right now, they had not much in-game content. You could do like I don't remember what they called the dungeons that were like level 80 maxed.
The
Um,
fractals?
not fractals, but where you could go back to dungeons that were like lower level, but they were made for level 80s,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like heroic dungeons or something. I can't remember. Um, but there wasn't a ton of that stuff. So I did a little bit of that, mostly fractals. I did. I actually there was a point where I was playing by myself, and I found a small group of people for a little while where I was doing a ton of fractals. So I was trying to do content that was a little bit harder, because the rewards are better, obviously. And that was back in the day when you could like run, you know, two dungeons, for the
Yeah.
daily dungeon run and get, I mean, piles of money. So that's what I would do. I'd do the daily dungeon stuff, go do fractals, and get rewards, and then be done. So we've played a little bit of the harder content. Kayla, you started much later than the rest of us, and I don't think you've ever. I think you've done some dungeons. Are you? Would you consider yourself like you enjoy that content? That's what you're aiming
I'm
for,
sorry, you
or are
cut
you
out
just
right
much
there.
more like you're? Oh, sorry. Do you feel like you're aiming towards that in content, like something that you want to play in like raids or harder content like that? Or are you, more into the idea of just doing the casual stuff?
Um, I feel like I'm more of a casual player. I don't care for the repetitive playing, like doing a dungeon over and over and over, just to farm. I really enjoy the storyline. I do like playing with other people. We've got a good group of friends that we play with, and they're always so helpful. And but yeah, mostly I like the storyline and just the socializing.
Shout outs to Foul.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is it Val that was being helpful? That's good.
that guy's super cool.
So, okay, so you would classify yourself as more of a casual player of the game then.
Definitely, yeah.
I feel like I'm leaning way harder onto the casual side with an interest in doing raids. I just don't know if I'll ever get there because it takes a lot of people and a lot of, practice, which I don't have a ton of time to do. But I would
Yeah.
love to try it. And Jerry, what would you say that where do you place yourself on that spectrum?
Yeah, actually, I would definitely say too that I definitely more casual than I am, the hardcore MMO player. Uh, most of the time, like I'm just running around doing little things here and there with random people. Like if there's a group of people doing like a dynamic event, I just hop right in and just do what they're doing. I'm not like each day like trying to do all of my achievements. I hardly ever do the dailies. Um,
Yeah, me too.
there was a time where I would log in, get all the dungeons, because you get that one gold for doing that dungeon, and I feel like there was a time when I might have been a little bit more hardcore. It took me a really long time though to get that legendary weapon, so people got that legendary in in like in a much speedier time than I did. Like,
Yeah.
and they're grinding away at it. They're going after it like super hardcore. I just got it when I got it, kind of thing. So I definitely would say I'm more of a casual player, but uh I like the like intricacies of like the game. Like it's super casual friendly, I feel like, but like when you look deep into like character builds and stuff like that, like there's a lot underneath just the shell of the game. I feel like there's so much for people who want a hardcore experience.
I think that's the case now. I feel like at first it wasn't. That's my opinion. But I felt like the dungeons at the beginning and the fractals at the very beginning were very lacking and very repetitive. But it with is it Heart of Thorns
Yeah.
was this the first expansion? Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like they changed that, but that's the thing. I never got into it. I was like, it flew completely under my radar. But before we get into that, Benjamin, what would you say about you? Where do you fall on that spectrum of like casual versus like hardcore?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jerry and Kayla. I'm definitely a lot more casual. Um, I usually play video games for story, and Guild Wars is the same as that. I played it just because I like the world, I like the setting, and I didn't even get as far as you guys, honestly. Like fractals, never even really touched it much. I think I dropped off the game like way early before you guys, because I didn't even touch that stuff really. Um, I was busy doing or playing other games, but but I always came back just because there's something about Guild Wars just exploring and just I don't know, just kind of I don't know. I could never figure out what it was about Guild Wars, but I think it's just because it's so casual friendly, and you know, the little time that I do have to play it, then I feel like I can accomplish something a little every day.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
yeah,
So I, there was a point when, like I said, I had dropped out, and Guild Wars 2 wasn't even like on my radar. I think I had heard from you, Jerry, like once or twice about the expansion, Heart of Thorns, and to be honest, I just like never looked it up. I never figured out what it was all about, and so I never bought it, never looked into it, anything. And so, as of what 2 3 weeks ago, would you say did we start playing again?
Yeah, I think so.
Um, since then, because I bought in for Path of Fire, which is the second expansion, and I picked up Heart of Thorns with it. Since then, we've been kind of slowly, pretty very slowly, kind of working our way through the story and stuff. Um, how do you guys feel about like the content, the stuff they've added?
Okay, so this is interesting for me because I get to so like I was saying earlier, I had found that group of people that I played with, but eventually they went off and played other things too, other MMOs and um, Elder Scrolls, online.
Yeah,
They went and did that. So I just kind of stuck with Guild Wars, and when Heart of Thorns came out, oh my gosh, dude, I could not get past like what is it? The Verdant Brink. I just couldn't even get past Verdant Brink on my by myself. Like,
And Verdant Brink, for people who have never played it, is the very first zone that you end up in for the new expansion. Is that right?
yeah, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was on the right page too, because I this is all brand new to me, and I have trouble remembering which zone is which. So yeah,
So like I took forever just getting through Verdant Brink. Um, and this is like, I could have, ran around with other random people. Um, but I, I very rarely did that. I mostly try to like adventure. So one thing that happens often too is like you'll join a group of people and then you guys are doing like the dynamic events and you go from one dynamic event to the next dynamic event. And the story goes, along with that. The living world, is
yeah,
happening. But then I want to like explore and like see what's over here, over there. And then by the time I come back to where everybody else is, they're all gone. And so now I have to do like certain little dynamic events on my own. And
you you
there's
have MMOADD.
right.
Yeah.
And
So
then
I feel like I suffer from that too, and the craziest part about Guild Wars, at least in my opinion, is it feeds into that crazy amounts. Like every nook and cranny, there's something in this game.
yeah.
That's one of the things I love about this is like if I was playing on, a certain area in World of Warcraft back in the day when I was playing it, the maps felt gigantic. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But like a huge section of that map is just really nothing. It's empty space that you're crossing to get from one place to another. And
Okay.
in Guild Wars, at least my experience from the beginning even until now, is that just like you said, there's all kinds of stuff happening. Like every little like nook and cranny has something interesting tucked
Yeah.
away.
So yeah, I mean like that, like that. Uh, eventually, uh, content by myself got too hard. One was like I refused to change the way I play too. Like, I was doing
The
glass
fatal
cannon.
flaw.
I was doing glass cannon from the beginning.
Jerry.
Like when
Gotta
we
give it up,
first
man.
started, four of us, I was super glass cannon, and I just kept that all the way until Heart of Thorns came out. But when Heart of Thorns came out, like there was like the AI was better and the enemy's damage output was for a trash mob was like legit. And I was like, "Oh no, like I'm just gonna, have to learn to dodge better." Um, but that was not the case.
Yeah.
So when you guys started playing just recently, like I was having tons of fun. Like you were like healing me tons, and my allies were like giving me buffs and stuff because I play the thief and they don't have like a ton of buffs unless I do just that, and then my damage output isn't where I want it, and that's what I like is high damage. So um, it's super fun just having you guys back in and the it's two different things that I got to experience. So I think that was super cool.
Nice. So for someone like you, Kayla,
Hmm.
who's kind of jumping in, kind of like me, fresh to the expansion, how do you feel about the content so far?
Um, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
um, because I kind of tapered off too. I pretty sure I picked up a different game. I can't remember what I was, but Jerry was playing, and then like he said, he just wasn't uh able to do it by himself, and I was like, no, I'm gonna stick with my game. But now that I'm back, um, yeah, like there's so much to take in. Uh, like we've got gliding now, um,
Yes.
navigating.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm kind of I don't know, I'm on the fence about. You guys tell me what you think, but the mastery system is kind of weird. to me. The the idea that you have to like in order to traverse the map, even at least at the beginning, it was just I just want to get from point A to point B, man. That's it. And it was
Yeah.
so difficult. I just want to
Yeah.
get to this. I want to go to the orange circle arena net. Help me.
Yes.
But at the
That's
beginning, it's you're screwed. You can't float. You can't
can't
jump on
do.
mushrooms. None of that stuff works for you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm finding. Like, we're playing with like Val and Jerry. They've both got their mastery leveled up further than I do, and they're like, "Come on, guys, let's go do this part of the quest over here." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't, cause I can't go up the wind tunnels."
Yeah.
So
It doesn't really lend itself to
it's
playing with your friends if unless you all started playing at the same time.
yeah. And fortunately, everyone's really patient, really helpful. But yeah, the mastery is really slow moving, and I'm like I am. I'm so casual of a player that navigating through the jungle alone without gliding, I'm so lost.
I feel like the jungle map, Verdant Brink, like it's very easy to get lost to compared to other maps.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
let's look at the maps before this one. Like the map is just kind of laid out in like a very normal, something you would expect, right?
yeah,
Just large map, maybe some mountains, maybe like a underwater cave, but mostly just uh open land, Um,
Yeah.
but in this first jungle map that was for Heart of Thorns, Verdant Brink, like you have just trees and vines that like will take you to higher parts of the map um, that like you couldn't then just get to a different part because there
Uh,
wasn't a vine from that one to the next.
uh,
Like there's so much uh,
it's
going
like
on.
it's like the ArenaNet devs were like in a room and they're like, "Look, we're way too invested in the horizontal, guys. We got to go vertical."
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And
yeah.
like every map has 4 tiers of freaking vertical space now.
Like the level designer was playing a lot of shoots and ladders or something when he was creating these maps.
Yeah, it's nuts. So as of right now, Benjamin, you just jumped back in like
Hmm.
I don't know 3 or 4 days ago. Is that right?
Yep,
With a brand new account. Did you pick up the expansion and the 2 expansions yet?
I did. I bought
Okay,
the Heart of Thorns and the Path of Fire collection, the standard, and
standard one.
yeah,
Okay, so as of right now, you have I think that gives you two like 80 boosts automatically. Is that right?
yes, it does.
Ha- I think if I remember correctly, I was playing with you. You used one on a ranger. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so you got your ranger level 80. You've jumped into Verdant Brink at this point.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about it?
I love it actually. uh, um, I think because I haven't played Guild Wars in so long, and the whole flying or gliding thing, and just going vertical instead of horizontal. Uh, I really enjoy it. I do agree with you guys though, with like it's kind of it's kind of lame in the beginning. You can't really do anything while everyone else is like gliding and jumping on mushrooms. I was a bit confused, especially
I
with the
think it gives
mushroom.
I think it kind of gives me that feeling though of like, oh man, that guy is so cool. I want to do that.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know,
that is how
I
how I felt
okay, that's
personally.
fair.
Yeah.
I could see that. I just for me it was like,
but
well, that's annoying.
I definitely see too. Like when Fal and I was trying to take you guys through areas and we can fly and use mushrooms.
Yeah.
There's another mastery where you can use the mushrooms to like jump to higher locations, and we can do that very easily because we've gotten those masteries. So like I will say, I agree with you. Like when you play with friends who don't have those masteries,
Mm.
um, it's very much a bummer because they can't just come right up there with you. Um, there are ways to get around that, but they have to take the long way around. Um,
Long.
yeah, long, long way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I have found ways to get around, like you said. But you know, you just wanna go straight.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how I am. I'm like, okay,
definitely.
I see the event happening. I want to get there. I don't know the map. I can't fly. So,
Yeah,
you have specifically, right? So the Frog City, the first one you get to, right? Uh the waypoint that you unlock is like really up high in the trees and they're like little jungle city.
yeah,
And I'm up there and I can see like an event going on like to like if you look at the map it's like to the east or to the west, but I'm like hella high up in this, village, and to get there I would have to like jump off. So at some point I was playing with some people that were like just starting again, like Benjamin. Yeah, it was you, Benjamin.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I can fly, but you can't. So I'm gonna jump down and glide and land safely. You just come and die, and then I'll res you, and then we can walk to
Uh-huh.
the objective. It was so convoluted. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure there was a way down. I'm sure there was an easier way to do that,
yeah.
but it was like it was not easily discernible,
Yeah.
you know?
Really confusing.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
But after, luckily, masteries are account bound. So thank God for that. Whatever ArenaNet
Yeah.
exec or developer was like, we should do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I had to do that for every character, I would probably scream.
I love the idea of gliding. Like, I think it's fantastic. I think I just wish that the mastery wasn't so slow moving. Like, it takes a long time to master one thing.
Yeah. I think I'm with you there. A little bit faster would be nice.
Yeah.
There are some times when I've been playing and you hit like a stride. Like sometimes you'll just get lucky and come into a map at the beginning of like a huge event chain.
Mhm.
Um, so like I remember this being a thing with vanilla and most of like the beginner maps. There would be like an event chain where you would start a quest, and as long as you were successful on each step of that, it would lead you to some like really big in-game awesome thing right on the map.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Vertebrink is no different. It's the same thing.
Yep.
So I think,
Lots of it. Lots of it going
yeah,
on.
there's a ton of them. Yeah. And in my case, there was one where I just like, I found one that just went forever. And luckily, there was a big group of people playing. So I hopped on at the time when there was a bunch of people rolling through this event chain at the same time and got lucky and got a ton of XP. Also, I found out doing the story quests, huge chunks of XP.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much experience you get. So that's one thing I really like about the game too. I don't I don't feel like I have to do those event chains if I don't want to. I can grind. Not it's not really a grind to do story in my opinion. Story is actually really fun, and it can't really be grindy because you can't do it over and over unless you're
Mhm.
playing multiple characters. But maybe you just want to go and farm and craft. I mean, that's you can still, as far as I know, you can still add that XP to mastery. Is that right?
Um, I,
Because I'm not
I,
100% sure
I,
on that, but I think so.
I know there's a new mastery, or there's a mastery, for crafting itself now, because you can craft legendaries now.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't know
right.
if you
I
guys
forgot
knew
about that.
that, but they added the ability to craft masteries because they want you to play the way you want, right? So like if you didn't want to go around and collect or do all the things that it would have normally taken you to get a legendary because there's only like one way to get legendary. You had to do what it took. But now you can craft a legendary. You can I think like visit a bunch of locations or something like that, and like um, there's another way. I'm pretty sure there's another way to get it now too. But there's crafting, there's the usual way, and there's another way. Don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, so I know there's a crafting mastery now. So I would imagine that it would go to that and not go to the mastery of, let's say, gliding or
Gliding. Yeah.
mushrooms.
Okay. Yeah. It's a little bit of a bummer because it's like, hey, play the way you want, except for, I mean, if you want to glide, you got to come here.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a little bit annoying, I guess. But to be honest, I'm really enjoying it. Like, so one thing that I wanted to ask you guys, like jumping back in and playing again, like what's the goal right now? So I know for me, I want to get through as much Heart of Thorns stuff as possible before the second expansion drops. So my mission right now is I want to get through story. I was really hoping to try a raid, even though I didn't think I'd be able to, do it because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of practice and I have no idea how to play characters properly. But that's for me, that's kind of like the purpose of jumping back in, and I'm really enjoying it. I forgot how much I love this game. So for Benjamin, what are you looking to do before Path of Fire drops and we all play together?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get through Heart of Thorns, and while I'm trying to get through that, I'm trying to regain as much stuff as I can.
Play
So,
that,
cause
play
man,
that
I
ranger with no pets.
yeah, that's super lame,
Yeah, that
and I can't
sucks.
can't
Oh,
handle that
Benjamin,
in
I
all my
played after you dropped off. I played a ranger because like my main class was elementalist.
yeah
But after you had dropped off, I ended up playing a ranger. That's what I did all my fractals with, and all kinds of stuff. So I really enjoy the ranger, and I know that struggle trying to get all
yeah.
those stupid pets.
So literally, I spent like an hour today just running around looking for pets. I went like on Wikipedia and just went, and so
Guild Wars 2 wiki pets, please.
so that's what I did, and I'm just trying to get some new armor and stuff because I can't really look the way I used to. So I'm trying to regain some gear,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh,
Oh man, and you had the link for your account, right? So you had that Hall of Monuments.
yeah,
You were able to go
ye-
back and get all that stuff,
that's
weren't you?
right. Yeah,
On the original account. That
yeah,
sucks. I'm so sorry, man.
yeah,
I was super bummed out because I played Guild Wars 1 not nearly as much as Jerry did, but I played it enough that I had some of the monuments unlocked. And then I had that weird thing with my Guild Wars 1 account slash email slash Guild Wars 2 account not linking properly, so I had to start from square one. I created a whole new Guild Wars account and tried to like rush as many of those Hall of Monument things as I could, and I barely got any of them. I barely unlocked like I think it was just the armor sets you get. But yeah, that I feel that pain. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Hmm.
But it's
So
actually
Kayla,
been pretty fun though. Just
good.
kind
I'm
of
glad you're enjoying it again.
re-exploring everything.
What do you think, Kayla? What's your mission?
Um, Probably just doing the storyline. Um, and I'm kind of a 100 percenter when I play games, so like I want to do all my
Ooh.
masteries.
Oh
I
gosh.
I
Good
know
luck with
in
that.
yeah, I know I know in Guild Wars like there's going to be a lot of stuff that I just can't do, but I'm aiming for at least getting all my masteries
Okay.
full.
That's good. That's a lofty goal. I wish you luck.
Thanks.
I don't think I could do it. I saw somebody running around. I was telling Jared earlier. I saw someone running around with like a 190
Oh
mastery
yeah.
level. I was like, my God. You must just like I know that there are some players who just like will log in and then do what they call like HP runs, hero point runs,
Mhm.
and they'll take like they'll show you a path through each of the maps that help you unlock all the masteries, all the
Yeah.
hero points and stuff, and they do it for like donations. Well, like I can only imagine that that would be like a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, even then, like you're not really gaining experience. You're not stopping for events. if you're on the same character, you're not getting hero points and way points or mastery points anymore. So, like, you just would have to go through and do it so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so if anybody who's listening to this knows how to get mastery points faster, let us know.
Yeah, I feel like actually mastery points, like gaining the actual points, not so bad so far.
Oh,
It's
right, right.
just
The XP.
the XP. Yeah, like what?
Yes.
Just give us a good way. You gotta show us how. What are you trying to do, Jerry? You're like me. You're trying to get through Path of or Heart of Thorns, aren't you?
Yeah. Right now I want to get through Heart of Thorns. Um, there's s- some spoilerly things in Path of Fire um that I have to try not to watch. Um, because I want to experience Heart of Thorns before I experience Path of Fire.
Oh man, Jerry,
So there's
you
that.
were so you and Kayla were there. Okay, so spoilers
Wait, wait,
to
wait,
anybody who's listening to
wait.
this. Okay.
What's going
Oh,
on?
Wait.
Benjamin.
Oh no. Wait.
Yeah,
Benjamin hasn't gotten there yet.
yeah.
Okay. I'm not
No,
gonna
yeah.
spoil
That
it.
because
But
I
here's
remember
what
when
I'll
I first
say.
saw that, that was awesome.
I was like, I was blown away. Like I did not expect at all for ArenaNet to just should like straight up do what they did in one of those story quests. Like I know they added a new story, but I expected there to be a lot more fluff, like a lot of I don't know, a lot less like very story centric things happening very early.
Was
Yeah,
it
like
was it to do with that one character?
Yes.
Okay.
So like I joined you for fun on a character I was just leveling randomly
Right.
in one of your
Right.
story quests and I was like, I hadn't even gotten there yet on my other
Oh.
character. I haven't even been to that one yet. Luckily, it was the one I was going to next,
Oh,
so
that's
I
good.
didn't like miss a chunk. I just kind of did yours instead. But oh man, it was I still can't
yeah.
believe it. Like I
Yeah,
was
that
just
was pretty
like,
rough.
and this is funny because I think out of our whole group of people who played Guild Wars 1 and then waited patiently for Guild Wars 2, I think I was the only one that read the book, the
Yeah.
like prequel to Guild Wars 2 that talks about Destiny's Edge, right?
Oh.
Spoilers for anybody who hasn't played the vanilla game. But Benjamin, you've been through vanilla, right?
Hmm.
Kayla, you've been through vanilla, right?
I
Have you? Did you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
she beat
Zaitan?
Zaitan.
And okay, cool.
Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't I'm not too fresh with terminology.
Okay. When I say vanilla, I just meant like the base game before, like the main story before Heart of Thorns.
Yes, yeah, that's
Oh,
all.
okay.
I did all that.
Okay, cool. So anyway, like I think I was the only one that was like really invested in the lore. I read the book. There's a book called Ghosts of Ascalon,
Hmm.
and I read that. That's basically the origin story of the group that you're trying to reform in the vanilla game called Destiny's Edge.
Wow, I had no idea.
And yeah, and it talks about their first like encounter with one of the elder dragons, and like they're just like they're really cool, powerful group. And I enjoyed the book a lot, and so like I feel like for me specifically, I knew all of these characters really well before Guild Wars 2 even started.
Hmm.
I knew Logan, I
Okay.
knew Ritlock,
Yeah.
Wow,
I
that's
knew
really
Zoja.
special. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it was really cool, and I really enjoyed. I think it made it way more enjoyable because
Yeah. Yeah.
there was some things I felt like were really janky and kind of not great story wise because you without reading the book you didn't get to know the backstory as well. You know what I mean? Like why did they
Right.
disband? And part of that is part of this vanilla game is like figuring that out, but you don't like really the game did I don't feel like didn't do it enough justice to like really understand what happened. So
Okay.
anyway, all that to say like I was not expecting ArenaNet to just like
Do
stab
what
me in
they
my
did.
face. Yeah.
And it's just
So,
a rule for everyone. We should always read the book first.
yeah, read the book first. It's actually kind of cool because they did the way they did it. It was a I mean, you could play the game without reading the book, and it would work fine because it wasn't like they were remaking the game into the book. We're not playing at the same time. This is a prequel. Like all this stuff happened before the game even started, which is cool.
Yeah.
You should actually. I recommend go back and read it. It was really good. Anyway, so I'll say this: Path of Fire, right, is coming out. I think it was September 22nd,
I think so.
like a month-ish from now.
Mhm.
Yep, a little over a month.
And this weekend, we're doing the podcast on the weekend that they're letting you try out the new elite specializations.
Hmm.
And the weekend before this was letting you try the demo that there's been videos everywhere about it. Um, so far, what have you guys seen and what do you guys think about it? Like the big thing mounts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I can't wait.
What do you guys are you a big fan of mounts?
Yeah. As you
Yeah,
can tell, I like rangers. I like pets.
True. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just want to ride a big old bunny rabbit as a tiny Asura.
Me too.
I want to ride a big old bunny rabbit as a giant char.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun, I think. I played the demo and I got to ride around like on the Raptor that they have available,
Hmm.
and it was cool. Like I one thing about this game that has never been bad, and I don't think will ever be bad, is they're really good at animating. Like the all the animations are really fun and interesting, and
Mhm.
they
Yeah,
have like really cool, even like the idling animation,
yeah,
is really
yeah. I've heard a
interesting.
lot about that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So it looks amazing. Um, I wasn't a big fan of the controls of it. Did you guys get a chance to mess around with it at all?
I did not.
I didn't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, I tried it for a little bit. I didn't mess around with it too much, but I maybe it just is takes time, like with any new like movement or control scheme.
Mm.
But it felt a little weird, a little too loosey goosey, liquidy for my tastes. But we'll see. I mean, it's one of those things that I'm sure in game you'll be able to get used to it pretty quickly. But that's something that I know I'm looking forward to. And oh, one thing we didn't talk about, Heart of Thorns. How did you guys like the elite specializations? How I know Kayla and Benjamin, did you guys get to try yours out yet?
I have not.
I think I only just got my char leveled up enough to even use it.
Okay, so you're playing a warrior, that's right.
Yeah.
So you would be berserker
Oh, yeah.
specialization.
Yeah.
So each specialization came with like a new weapon, new abilities, new heroic ability. I think is what it's called, like the ultimate ability, right?
Your
Yeah.
elite skill?
Or elite skill, sorry. And I know that for me, I've always played an elementalist since the beginning. Like it's my favorite class, and I love the Tempest, the specialization that they added for Heart of Thorns, and I don't think
I
that
love
I'll
the
be
Tempest, and I don't
switching.
even play the Tempest.
I know, right? It's amazing. Like, what is cooler than just like summoning lightning bolts on like every enemy in a vicinity and just watching them all die? It's amazing.
One of my favorite things to see is still the uh the elementalist summoning the rocks underneath him and then like riding the rocks. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's
I
just
think that may even be like an Asura specific animation.
oh, is it?
I think so. I may be wrong there, but I pretty sure I saw like Char or Norn or something, and it wasn't as pronounced. Like it's really like rock surfing with the Asura. They're so tiny, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. That's one thing too. Like you were saying earlier about animations and how ArenaNet has always done very well with the animations. Like each race have different animations for the same skill, and
Mm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like I do moves differently from a human and from a char. I love that.
Yeah, the amount of effort they put into that stuff is amazing to me.
Yeah, like just as a quick example, uh, I had a thief that was a Norn, and I thought it'd be funny, right, to be like a stealthy character but be as big as possible because I made him as
Yeah,
big as possible.
yeah, that's
um,
pretty great.
but then like whenever I did like Death Blossom, he did like a Zangief like twirl, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I
So
know exactly the twirl you're talking about. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
It's spinning lariat.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing about this game that I love. It's they put so much effort into making all the like the aesthetic of the game so appealing, so pleasing.
Mm,
Everywhere you go, like every map, even I think there was one map that I thought for sure in the vanilla game was just going to be really boring and dull, and that was Crystal Desert, right? There was an area of the game where like one of the dragons had like flown over and like used its like crystal breath to make this big huge scar.
Oh
Oh yeah,
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 You guys know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
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 And I thought for sure, I mean, it just looks like a barren wasteland on the overworld map, you know what I mean? So once we finally get to that area, if you end up going over there, uh, it's even then, it's still amazing. Like they take so much care with making sure that it's never boring and samey.
Mm,
I never feel that way playing this.
One thing that I very much enjoy about uh, the levels is I never thought of this before ever. Jumping puzzles. Like all it
Oh
is,
man,
mhm.
all it is uh
MMO platforming.
yeah, MMO platforming. And if you've never done that before, it is quite the delight.
I
Uh,
wish we had Fal here to talk about this because he hates them. He
really,
hates them so much. He does, and I think it's hilarious. I'm
it's so
I'm
fun.
I'm of the camp that says bring it on. I'll try it, but I'm so bad at them. I
Ah,
thought maybe taking him to a couple of them that were really fun would change his
uh,
mind. And like
the
the Goonies one, right? You guys have been to that one?
oh yes.
Mhm.
Have you
Yeah,
taken Kayla to the Goonies one? Okay,
I have
good.
been there.
It's amazing, right? That
It is.
whole like ode to the Goonies jumping puzzle I thought was amazing, and we got through it. He actually did better than I did at it. What a jerk! Hey, Fat, how's it going? And we got to the end, and he was just kind of like, "Oh, that was it." It's like,
Oh,
and you know that feeling when you show like one of your friends something you think is really awesome, and they're like, "Meh,"
yeah.
Yeah.
and like you just like deflate. You're like, "Oh, okay. I guess it's not that
I
great."
guess, I
You
guess.
know? That's kind of how it felt. I wish he was here to talk about it. Maybe we'll get him on here another time, but
Yeah, jumping
But
puzzles, guys. Guild Wars 2. Go do
this
them.
is Jerry, the jumping puzzle. What he's like earned the title for doing all of them.
do you get a title for that?
I do think so. I think you get a title for doing all the base ones before anything
Yeah,
came out else came out. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure
he
you got a title.
he wears it proud.
I think I would too. Geez, it's really hard.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, this brings back a memory. Do you guys remember um I I think it was me, you, Jerry, and you, Benjamin.
Mhm.
I don't remember Dan being there for this, but we were doing that crazy jumping puzzle where it had like multiple parts. You had to do a jumping puzzle to get to a certain area, which had like an item you had to like carry back, um, and bring to this area like an altar or something. And there was like three of those pieces, and you finally bring it all back together, and then you get like a chest or something.
Hmm.
Do you guys remember that really complicated one?
Oh man, I that doesn't really. It kind of rings a bell, but I can't see exactly what that jumping puzzle is.
It's funny because I don't really remember the puzzle itself so much as I remember we spent guys, I think it was hours. I'm not even joking. I really think we spent hours just trying to figure this puzzle out. And it was some of the most fun I've had playing the game.
Mm.
Yeah, like
Like
it's
even
not
to this
always
day I remember it
combat.
pretty well.
The game isn't always combat. it's so fun in so many different ways. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those things like I'd like to get back. Part of exploring in the new expansion is like in able to in order, sorry, to be able to get to the places that have some of that cool out of the way stuff, you have to level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to get your mastery up. You have to be able to use the updrafts. You have to be able to use the mushrooms and things like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's once you get past that hump, like
Mm.
for me, once I got past it and I unlocked some of that stuff, it was like, okay, now I feel like I can actually move around the map a little bit better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Did you guys ever play Super Adventure Box?
Oh
Oh
my
God. Oh my
goodness.
God, Jerry.
That's too good.
The jumping puzzle from hell. I was so bad at it.
From
I
8-bit
honestly,
hell.
yeah, from 8-bit hell, for real. I remember playing it a little bit. I had jumped back in and played with you, I think, because you wouldn't shut up about it. And so I like loaded everything back up and jumped back in to try it out. And then of course I'm bad at jumping puzzles. So and playing it as an Asura, oh my God, I feel like I should have the advantage. Like I'm really tiny. I don't take up a lot of screen space. I should be able to see where I'm landing. But even I'm still bad, you know? And then of course I always forget to turn off like the double tap to dodge button. And I'm in the middle of like the highest part. I got one jump left and of course I double tap and I flip off the freaking map.
You're like trying to
Oh
scoot
my
up
God.
to get to the very
Yeah,
edge.
you got to tap it a couple times to get just to the edge. So like when you jump, you're good, and then double flip, and I'm on the ground dead. Oh my God,
uh, that's
so
great.
bad. So we'll go ahead and close it out here in just a minute. But I just want to say to anybody who's listening, we so far I think the consensus is we're really enjoying the game. Are you guys pretty excited for Path of Fire?
I am excited. I've seen
Hmm.
there's like the new hype around Guild Wars too right now. Like I'm definitely on the hype train. Um, and I've tried to stay away from any spoilery stuff. And I'm still like super hyped. So like I haven't seen as much as like probably other people who have, been keeping up with the game. And I'm still hyped about it.
Yep, same here. I've only seen one trailer. And I bought the game. I saw mounts. I saw going back to like some Guild Wars 1 locations. I'm like, yep.
I don't know if you guys played much of Nightfall, but I very much enjoyed Nightfall,
Hmm.
and I'd love to see some Nightfall.
I miss
Uh,
my dervish.
I remember that. I remember
Yeah,
your dervish.
Yeah,
that was good.
I'm sad you didn't get to experience that, Kayla. It was fun.
Yeah.
But hey, you get to see some cool stuff in the new expansion, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for hanging out and chatting. And to anyone who's listening, I'm going to put this up on our YouTube. I'm going to put this up on iTunes and SoundCloud. And if you feel like it was worth a listen, share it with your friends. And we're going to try to keep doing this on maybe a bi-weekly basis or something like that, because I really enjoy talking about this game. And it may not always be about Guild Wars, but I feel like for a while that's all I'm going to want to talk about.
Agreed.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully we'll be able to get everybody back. I think for the most part, it'll be me and Jerry and maybe Kayla. I don't know, Benjamin, your schedule's pretty like
Yeah, it's pretty hectic right
sporadic.
now, but I'll try to get in as much as I can.
Maybe one of these days we'll get Foul on here so he can tell us how much jumping puzzles suck.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening so much.
Thanks, guys.
See you
Hey,
guys.